You are listening to the Lucha Central Podcast Network. And now, LuchaCentral.com presents Masks, Mats, and Mayhem.
I'll write it and we'll do it live. Fucking thing sucks.
Welcome to another edition of Masks, Mats, and Mayhem. I'm your host, Justin Outlaw Harvey. You can find me on social media at JustinHarvey75. You can, of course, find the entire show all over social media and probably on your mom's night table at MMMshow75. I meant your mom specifically, Byron. MMMshow75. And actually, now you can find us on Threads. Is that correct, Byron?
We're on Threads.
Does that matter at all to anyone?
Awesome. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Woo.
Hit us in the comments. All I know is when all the social sup, Rebecca. Thanks for saying I look younger than Justin last week. All I know is when the new social medias were popping up, Threads was the one whose algorithm angered me the most. So, you know, I'm happy that we're getting on that bandwagon as a podcast now. Anyway,
so we're saying then that Threads is super duper important.
Yes.
Oh. Couldn't wait to use that, huh?
No, I really could have waited a long time to use it.
I really don't like that you have these tools, man.
It's just I was just playing around in this silly app today, so I just figured I would whatever. I'll just go back to hey, Goatse!
And we lost everybody else on the show.
We have to give some love to Down Under. They had pay-per-view action this week that had me up at 8 in the morning watching wrestling. So I hope that you enjoyed having some local time events in your hemisphere, Goatse, because it caused me to lose copious amounts of sleep. Yeah, and of course, yeah. Great. So basically they come all the way to you, force me to get up early, and you don't even watch. Okay, awesome. But you're watching us, and that means we love you. That's the important part.
Those of us who are here now, not the ones who are not here.
Correct. So anyway, let me introduce some people here. First of all, important people. That guy over there.
Oh.
Hi, everybody. My name is Tony Allen. You can find me at my social media as at TonyST.Allen. Everybody gets a free hat if they find out what ST stands for. Yeah,
doesn't stand for saint. Here. You're not Tony Saint Allen.
No,
you're not a saint of something. You haven't been canonized or something.
May have been. I don't know.
And
what up, fam? This is Byron at Byron Fever, representing the MMMshow, the denizens of deliciousness. I have gone the 17 years of this podcast without literally knowing what denizens means. But through the context, I'm confident that it's a good thing for us.
So
thanks for watching.
Of denizens of deliciousness, if you're watching the show and you care, we might release some merch again. So let us know, DM us, put it in the comments, throw it in the chat, whatever, however you can get at us. Let us know if you're actually interested in merch, because we may do a limited run just so that Tony, not Saint Allen, can have a t-shirt.
Yes, I need a t-shirt. How many pucks hit some? Oh, what?
It's a hockey. I can't even. It's hockey.
Hockey. Funny story. That's my sister's nickname because my mom named her. Yes, because my mom named her some impossible to pronounce name that we just call her Hockey.
I thought it's because she was too busy saying "puck you."
No, no, it's just like her name is Kerenapuk. So
That's a mouthful. What is that? Like
yes.
Aztec, Incan,
No.
Spanish?
No, we're not gonna get in any trouble, get canceled. So let's move on.
Okay, great.
It's actually, I think, Aramaic or some shit. Like
Aramaic. Okay. There's a
Yeah.
lot of people in wrestling trying to get canceled already, so I'll let them handle that.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I got all sorts of lovely inside dirt on those things today that I will not share with any of you.
Can I have inside dirt?
You can send me a check for $23, Byron, and then I will call you and not put in writing the dirt because I will not even put it in writing.
I'll send you an envelope full of dirt.
I have inside dirt. I have from a trusted source that a couple of wrestlers are opening a game coffee shop restaurant.
Yes,
right.
and that would be Ruby Soho and
Ruby Soho and
her guy. What is his
Cool
name?
Hand.
Oh God, you guys are terrible.
The second, the B side of 2.0.
Not Daddy Magic.
No.
The not Daddy Magic guy.
I do
The
wanna
one that
say-
was feuding with Soraya's brother, whose name I
Yeah.
also can't remember. No, Ange. Cool Hand Ange. Angelo
Cool
Parker,
Hand
right?
Yeah,
Angelo
by the way,
Parker.
getting the nickname Cool Hand is awesome.
I love
also,
Ange is
by the way, that was a phenomenal signing by Tony. You always think about signing big names and this or that, but signing those guys to come in and make Sting look good in those tag matches and then all that stuff, and they got their moment in Montreal. I mean, I wish Cool Hand was around. I'm glad when Daddy Magic
I
gets his,
like Daddy
TV
Magic
time.
on the commentary. My favorite commentary
Yeah.
booth for AEW has been Shivani with Nigel and Daddy Magic. That was
The
my
name
favorite
is-
commentary team.
yeah.
I rather have him that I was mentioned this earlier to you guys. Brian Danielson. Oof.
I had
mean,
a friend, Bear Brannon, who was an audio guy that I worked with a bunch. He was DMing me a little bit about the show earlier, and he was like very politely like, "It's not a very popular take, but I don't really like Brian on commentary." I was like, "Brother, you don't have to worry. You're safe with me. I'm not a fan of Brian on commentary. I'm a fan of Brian doing a lot of things. Talking to me on the microphone during a match isn't one of them."
Yeah.
No.
I was wondering why until Taz left for shoulder surgery, and I think they wanted star power, not so much a good color commentary.
Play by play. Okay, we'll call it.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Well,
Actually,
before you keep him around,
before
it's
one on that, can you highlight? Is a Gotze? Gotze D? Is that?
Oh,
is that
yeah.
right? Can you highlight that
Gotze.
comment? Because I did make
Yeah.
a comment last week about that. I don't know if you guys remember about AI and botches. Remember, I said that
Yeah.
we're gonna beat them
Yeah.
one day because they will not exist anymore.
Yeah, like let's retcon that match ending from a few weeks ago with Naya and Tiffy and that whole thing.
Right? Yeah.
Let's just AI it so it's good.
Well, I think they will just do the whole
see,
matches.
Rebecca wants the dirt. It's good. $23. I do have Venmo.
I got some dirt. I haven't showered for 4 days.
Jesus,
Hit do the sound effect. Do the didn't.
What I don't see
Doesn't
here's
have
the
a
problem with this
hi-hat.
whole thing is
You got to be quicker on the when I'm doing a joke that's funny.
no.
No, that's this is. Oh, well,
That's the wrong show.
yeah. That's it, but it takes so
Close enough.
long.
Yeah.
It takes a Well, I have to switch pages. Like I can't look at the contents.
Oh,
My
it
notes-
has.
My notes for the show, which by the way, for you two gentlemen that are on here with me, in the notes page, you can actually see the notes for the show. Yeah, there actually is an outline for this show, people. I know
I
you
don't
don't
see-
believe it.
I forgot
I'll-
that happened.
Where
at
is
one
it?
point.
I'll prove it by do you not have it underneath style? Do you not have one that says notes? Maybe
No, I don't
only
have
have it.
I'm not logged into the main account.
Oh,
so
really?
You don't have it. Okay, cool,
I
great.
don't have I'm not actually logged in at all. I mean, I'm just
You're just
I
coming in
clicked
as a
on the
guest.
link.
Yeah.
Should I next week?
Maybe next week. What does this say? That's it. The budget is now gone for the show. Yep, with the sound effects. It's totally gone.
We're
So
in
we
the
have
red.
to monetize again so that we can get super chats so you guys can help us pay for better sound effects.
We're gonna sell the Casey shirt that has a curse word on it. Wear it at school or your work. The one
Or
that says
Death
the
Match
Gator
Wrestling.
Jetto shirt, and it's Casey
Yeah,
in black and white, and it says "Fuck you, I'm Casey."
that
It's a
is what
play
it
on the
says.
"Fuck you, I'm Ghetto and Jetto."
All right, I'm going to move on to big topic number one. I've kind of reconceptualized the show a little bit this week, folks, but I think this is going to work. I think it's going to work swimmingly. So our big topic is exactly how it was last week. We had a big topic, and we're going to have a big topic this week, and it's a very, very big topic because there were two big pay-per-views this past weekend. The first crown jewel to not be in Saudi Arabia or Abu Dhabi or wherever the heck they were doing those things. Riyadh, yes.
Riyadh, yes.
And there was some big wins there.
I really thought I wasn't paying much attention, and I was at one point during the Cena Styles match. I was wondering because I watched matches, not the whole show start to finish. I was wondering they're like speaking really good English in these chants right now.
You really were thinking it was in Riyadh, weren't you?
It's called Crown Jewel.
I know. But they gave it up to get Royal Rumble, basically, and then Australia put in the biggest bid to go all the way up to Perth, which is amazing because to get to Perth, basically, you have to, if you're in the States, you have to fly to LA. Then you have to fly from LA to Sydney, and then you have to take another flight to Perth. It is like 27 hours of airplaning, and that's if you have short layovers. It's a nightmare. Anyway. So the two big pay-per-views this week, and the first was Crown Jewel, not in Saudi Arabia. So I guess they.
But why still call it Crown Jewel?
Because and they have that big
because
belt
they wanted
too, and they
belt?
made Australia pay for it. I guess this time. I guess this belt sits in their museum in Perth because that's how the event.
Yeah,
is
I know
sold.
they kept.
I don't
it,
know.
Right?
Yeah, because in Saudi it was like, no, the prince is keeping this belt. The champion doesn't get to wear that.
You get the ring.
Ring. We keep the belt. The belt's worth like, $200,000 or something.
The belt sucks. The belt looks tacky and it's ugly and it's full of gems.
I thought it looked good on Steph Vicaire, and I have not thought it has ever looked good on anyone.
Yeah, but don't they did look like what's the name of the tournament in AEW? The
Owen Hart.
The Owen Hart is the Owen Hart with a lot more I don't know, sparkly things on it.
Correct.
I don't think it's like actual.
Well, and I think it looked good on Steph because she's so small that it literally looked like an entire chest plate. It looked like body armor.
It looked like like Saint Seiya,
like a corset almost.
Yeah, exactly. It looked like a corset. Yeah.
But anyway, so we had some big wins over there at Crown Jewel. We had Steph Ecker winning over Tiffy Time. Bronson Rizzied in the hometown, getting the heel heat at home and yet still taking the win over Roman Reigns, which I know surprised a lot of people. I did kind of actually expect that. Seth won over Cody, which I didn't really expect, and led into a Raw thing that I didn't quite understand. Cena won over AJ, which I think we all expected, but it was surprisingly not just the 5 moves of doom. Interesting. We can talk about that a little bit. And Rhea at home letting Io get the pin on the Kairi Asuka team, and of course Kairi took the pin, but it was interesting that Rhea did not take the pin and that she gave up the pin for Io to take it when she was working the hometown crowd. I thought that was a very interesting dynamic there and shows a lot about Rhea, or also that maybe Rhea still has Heaton back. I don't know.
The duck house.
I don't know. Rhea has been a little bit
in this case, in the dingo house.
Yeah. They still let her draw them money, but they also don't quite pump her up the way they used to. Also, over in TNA, we had a huge Bound for Glory on Sunday with Tessa wrestling a backstage announcer. I thought that was interesting. Tessa, you can't draw a real opponent now? What's happening? I think I know. The Hardys retiring the Dudley Boys. Frankie Kazarian dropping to Macklin only to win a double pin in the gauntlet alongside Nick Nemeth after Alicia, by the way, Alicia Edwards took the most hellacious tack bump, and the girl weighs 58, 59
That
pounds.
was incredible.
It was awesome. It was awesome. And then Kalani over Indy Hartwell over there, and big news, big time. Mike Santana finally brings home the big gold over Trick Williams. So here's my question for you, gentlemen, and I'll let you talk about it a little bit, and then we can wax poetic on it. Does TNA drawing an 8K audience for a big event bring the company back to its glory days finally after this thing with the Hardys and the Santana and whatnot? And conversely, did WWE redeem the start of the ESPN pay-per-view era with this Australian event and not doing it in Saudi? Was this enough to wipe the bad taste of WrestlePalooza out of our mouths? That is the big topic.
You had that written down for a while.
WrestlePalooza. Actually, I literally just made that one up right now. It's not in the notes.
It definitely feels like
I made
not a lot of thought went into it.
Good. I wanted it that way.
Well,
I appreciate it being that way more.
May have made up for the show, but not for the pun.
Yo, my homie is up in this piece. That's my dude. Coma Toast. What's cracking? More thunder from down under.
All right, I'll say something super fast. I thought the pay-per-view, I think it redeemed them. Me, the big one. I think it redeemed them. I think it was solid. People seem to like it. They had good stuff.
You're talking about Crown Jewel?
Crown Jewel. Yeah, sorry. Crown Jewel, I think, redeemed it. I think the pay-per-view beforehand was just miserable. I think TNA doing 8,000 seats, the whole idea of it's the conversation, I think, is getting blown out of proportion. I think Moose posted something that summed it up, I feel, the best. Let's remember where we came from. Like 100-person audiences in empty rooms, this and that, working your asses off. And now this is what they accomplished. Just feel good about it, celebrate it, and build on it to the next one.
Brent's hanging on to the pain of 7 years ago.
Yeah. So what up?
What up, races?
What up, racist rock fan?
You don't say that correctly. If you don't slow that down, that
see, it's so close.
What did it sound like?
It sounded like you said racist rock
racist
fan.
Yeah.
Oh, don't do that.
But it's races fan
don't
rock.
Say that. We don't even know him.
He likes the
nice.
Races, as in
this
NASCAR, as
nice.
in Indy, as in Formula One.
Races, I think fan rocks 4.
I think 8,000 person crowd is awesome for TNA, and I'll just leave it like that. There's still a WWE developmental show. You saw that in some of the booking, and you're going to keep seeing it. And so, just enjoy it. I think there's a lot of people who've been in TNA who've lasted through a few of the hardships and weird things that have gone on, and this was a good thing for them. So let them enjoy it and not try and put them on a spot for being, are they going to be bigger than AEW now? Or are they going to be bigger than NXT now? Are they going to they did great. And it was a great show. I don't know what the finish to the Hardys and the Dudleys was. That was fucking stupid. But I guess it was storytelling. And yeah,
but what else can you do? It's so hard for those old men to take those table bumps in the first place.
Well, it's just the idea of Bubba standing there and letting them do that. He stood there for too long. Like, he had options. Someone in that spot would have options. I don't know how well he's moving. But
the finish was that they didn't concerto him. They didn't give the shout out to Edge and Christian. And that he basically conceded the fact that they were better and they were going to beat him. So he fucking let it happen. And he just went out gracefully, and then he handed them his boots. And then,
Yeah, the boots thing was cool. But yeah, I think AJ and Cena was phenomenal.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
The callback with the gear was cool. It was a nice reminder that they had a really fun program way back when. I also think that that the best parts, I said this weeks ago, the best parts of Cena's retirement tour has been AEW booking, and the worst parts have been WWE booking. And this was a very hot AEW PWG match. And, I mean, they're hitting everyone's finish. They're hitting
That's
all
kind
their
of fun
friends'
stuff.
finishes until the end, and then you lie down for the 3. It's, and what was the storyline reason? Because we want to have a good fight and actually be able to perform at the level which we want to, as opposed to, like AJ and Cena are running out of big matches. So, yeah, that's what I got. Oh, also, I just want to echo the Mike Santana winning TNA, the TNA belt was amazing. I think him winning is great, and
Your time's up, Byron. Go away.
post-match stuff with family was also great. It just really good, feel-good stuff. I gotta go, guys. I gotta stop talking.
Just heads up, I did not watch TNA pay-per-view. I didn't. Again,
We have a rule on this show. There's too much goddamn wrestling. We do not expect everybody who's on this show to have seen all of the wrestling.
Yeah, it's just it was impossible for me to watch that much. And I actually watched what's it called? Crown Jewel today while I was working out. So yeah, it took forever for me to watch. I mean, I knew the results, and I know the results of almost anything,
right?
Because you can, I can read. But on the WWE front, I really, really like the Cena AJ Styles match. I think there is. I mean, people are complaining that. Oh, I heard somewhere that the finishers are not finishers anymore. This is a going away party, bro. This is where 40 something. Well, how old is Cena? 50? Is he 50? Is he? Are you guys feeling insulted here? Never mind.
I want to say that he's not my age, but well.
But anyways, it's a going away party, so it was fun. All the callbacks, all the people that they, I don't know, play homage to whatever. It was great. I like the Stephanie Vaquer match. I thought it was kind of maybe I'm wrong here, but I thought it was kind of short for what I was expecting. I thought it went. Like it ended,
especially for a 5-match pay-per-view. It was.
Yeah, I was like, oh, okay. Well, 1, 2, 3. Okay, that's fine.
But I kind of like that too. I'm tired of 10 million false finishes in myself.
No. Yeah, it's just that it was like compared to the rest of the matches that I skipped on. This was I actually watched it all, and I was like, oh, I'm not even done with the first part of my routine. So yeah, I really like those matches. I did not feel like I cannot feel anything for Seth Rollins and Cody. It was over, and I was like, yeah, sure. And then I saw what happened on clips on Monday, and I was like, eh.
Well, then you were echoing if Meefloaf sentiments if he was here, because he started texting me at 9 a.m. and I forgot that Raw was even on, and he was like, "Oh yeah, they turned on Seth. Big deal. Who cares? Can they just turn him off television?" Like Meef was so bitter about the whole.
And then he's like, "Yeah, he hates Seth Rollins. He hates pretty much any white bread wrestler."
Wait, isn't Seth Rollins like the most multicultural person, adopted by Mexicans, and he is like Middle Eastern? So
I'm gonna
Lopez. Yeah. So, but he's actually like Middle
Eastern. The Four Corners area of Davenport. So that's like 4 states all in one.
Yeah, well,
but he also looks too much like Adam Cole in the ring, I think, to me.
Adam Cole.
I
don't know. But anyways,
Adam Cole used to wrestle for Ring of Honor back in the day.
I did, and I saw a little bit of the Hardys and Team 3D, and I it's okay. I did see that part you guys are talking about. The ending was like, wait, so
it just surrendered.
Yeah, basically. But he like cried a little. Like I thought that was like. And another thing, because we were talking about crying on like being an actor, and now wrestlers turn into actors and they cry. I think that's like the go-to emotion now for everybody. So yeah, and then Mike Santana winning, good for him. Yeah, you know, he's been working really hard on that, so I'm happy for him. I have not seen that match, but I'm happy for him. And AK, I guess that's really good. Is that for a pay-per-view?
Yeah, it's for a pay-per-view. I'll put it to you this way. If you take the last 5 AEW shows combined attendance, it's still less than that one TNA show.
The what?
The combined attendance of the last 5 AEW shows is still
Okay.
less
Yeah,
than that.
well, yeah, no, I get it. But I mean,
But also, they're not running every week either. So they're not trying to fill these things up. It's a little more special when they run a bigger place. So they, you know,
I'm
take it
still
with
on
a
the
grain of
fence
salt.
on that one. I don't know if that's a good sign or not. You know,
I feel like they could have sold more tickets, but that place did not have an upper level. That place was literally just the lower level, big floor seats, so they were able to get 8,000 in there. They filled it all the way around. There was no blacked out hard cam stuff. They didn't take up a bunch of space for Jumbotron because they don't own one. So they had, you know, just straight entrance. So they basically they maxed out a relatively small venue, a venue that can't even do 10K. Which is, I think, pretty good in the Boston area, outside of Boston. It's good. It's a good look.
well, but also if this is like their most improved attendance, then it's really good. And what we said, I think it was like 4 shows ago about, you know, seeing the impact of not no pun intended, the impact of having the connection with WWE, that if it was going to make any effect, then it is already doing it, and it's making money for them. Now I don't know how the financial aspect of this is going to work, because some of the people were WWE, so you know, we don't know how that's going to work out. But yeah, it means this is good, right? It means it's good for them. They're growing. I don't know if they're growing, you know, comparative to other things. Because I mean, what I'm saying is a pay-per-view. So if it's a pay-per-view, this is not. I mean, you're saying you compare it to AEW's attendance. That's a weekly thing. So
Which is true, and you are correct. For like an AEW pay-per-view, you would definitely see, you know, like what we were at, what 12,000 in LA, Byron, or something like that.
Probably.
St. Louis the last time was 11. Like when they do a big pay-per-view, a good one, like yeah, the attendance is bigger than TNA. So you can't.
Yeah,
it's all relative.
I would say on one they're not really pushing. They do all right in a hockey arena. And then yeah, if they really want to do something, they could do a Wembley. They can do 50, 80,000 if they really want to, I think.
Now, I don't know if you guys heard about this, but because of the draw of All In, they actually had to give money back to the state of Texas because they did not hit the numbers. It wasn't a ton of money either. Like the media was making a little bit bigger deal out of it. These things happen all the time. But they also didn't run as many events as they had promised. They didn't do some of the other specialty events and concerts and other things that they had said that they were going to do for the whole big week. And so the state of Texas was like, well, you didn't entirely come through on your deal. You came through on part of it. So they didn't really have to give money back. They got less money.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
The subsidy check came in less.
Yeah.
$100,000 less on an $800,000 check or something.
I think it's more like on those kinds of things. On those kinds of things, it's more like you got less taxes back from the state of Texas, and AEW had to, you know, cover that as a. I guess it's lost.
But it also does show that AEW did not hit the goals that they thought they would hit when they negotiated the deal, and that is not a great sign.
Yeah.
True. Yeah, true. Yeah.
So here's my thoughts on these events. Crown Jewel, I gave it an A-. I was very surprised in a pay-per-view that is literally basically just exhibition matches. Like there's no real stakes. to the two champion versus champion matches. They're exhibition matches. Both of these people are walking away with their belts. I thought that WWE in a very short amount of time, especially with that Heyman promo, managed to somehow make the Cody and Seth match actually mean something, or at least people were interested to see if Seth was going to get the win with all that chatter that was going on before the match. So kudos to them, because like building a match that is literally an exhibition match that doesn't have any like, you know, if you go back to Crown Jewel last year, it was forgotten immediately. Like it was like, yeah, you get to put on the big belt for some photo ops, and then like nobody cares. And I think that's in Tiffy's favor this time, because they put on a great match. It gives Steph a little bit of a boost. It doesn't really hurt Tiffy's stock to me. I know some of the Tiffy fans were upset by it, but she's literally had the belt way longer than anyone thought she would. I mean, she survived WrestleMania. She survived SummerSlam. She still had the belt. They've given her the respect of being very new, very green. She's been in the entire business for like 5 years or less.
Yeah.
And she's been a WWE champion for 3/4 of a year. Like, let's not take that lightly. They've shown her a certain amount of respect. So, and I will get into that races in a second here. So the overall Crown Jewel to me was a success. I thought the Australian crowd was hot. They put the right people on the show. I thought giving Bronson a win was fun. I thought the Cena and AJ match was far more than anyone expected or even really deserved. So kudos for the whole thing. The TNA Bound for Glory match shows me that if TNA gets a TV deal, that company might finally live up to the promise of what it always was back when Jeff Jarrett was running it, and then Dixie, and then like
everyone else.
They've been so on the cusp of greatness so many times, and then so on the brink of destruction so many times. I think firing Scott D'Amore was stupid, but Carlos has done a great job since then. I still don't agree with that decision, but I see what he's doing. It's working. And I feel so bad for one person, Billy Corgan. He negotiated his TV deal for NWA at the exact wrong time, when there was a lull in the renaissance of wrestling. The money wasn't there. WWE hadn't done their Netflix deal yet. Like, he got so screwed, left holding the bag, got a shitty renegotiation on his last deal, barely is on TV. TNA is picking up the slack. WWE moved around in all these other places. And I think that TNA, when they get their TV deal sometime next year, is going to be gangbusters. I think that AEW has something to really worry about with TNA. Is it there yet? No. Does Carlos have a plan with what he's doing to get them there? I'm afraid so. And I think that being on the right side of WWE certainly does not hurt his plans, because they're not trying to stop him at this point. They look at it as another place where they can send their talent to get a little more exposure. It's free publicity for WWE, and they're happy to exchange things, and I love to see it. But it's a very interesting thing. Again, Alicia Edwards gets huge props. I think Mikey Santana, like, dude, has put in the work, as I said last week. He's just simply put in the work. He's got the respect of that whole locker room. He's got the respect of most of the NXT locker room. He's got the respect of most of the business. And people are very surprised, because a lot of credible people in the business told that guy a year and a half ago, dude, don't leave your tag team partner. You're a tag team wrestler. Stick with it. It's going to work out. Just say it. Yes, Santana's doing great. What does that say? Hallelujah says. Oh, right. I like that name. So it was a fun weekend. It was a big weekend. I think coming out of it, the biggest stories are, I think Stephanie Vaquera was a big story. I think
she's the biggest winner of that pay-per-view. I think she's, I mean, yeah, I know the Cena match was like cool and stuff, but if you add it up, I think she just got that win over the other champion. So that's gonna give her like a boost. And I know that Tiffy is not that established, but it is still the champion, right? It's like
Yeah.
so you're gonna get that boost out of credibility wise.
And I think that Steph needs it too, because she actually is more experienced than a lot of these girls,
Exactly,
but
yes.
the casual fans don't know it. So
Don't
we've
know
got to
that.
we've got to put some history on her as quickly as possible, you know?
Yep.
So
Also, it shows that they have a lot of faith in her because, as champ, besides the matches, you have to represent and carry the show and the company with regards to your division. And she is a relatively new talent that they may not be as familiar with. And she also speaks one or two languages before English, and it's so like it shows that one, they have a lot of faith, and two, that she has done so much to earn that faith in such a short amount of time.
yes,
I feel
and
deeply offended by that comment.
I believe
What?
the two languages are Spanish and Portuguese.
Does she speak Portuguese?
I think she does actually speak a little Portuguese.
Well, we all do if we speak Spanish. It's like that's not a thing.
Right.
But
It's
anyway,
not that. It's
Tony,
not that.
I think
it's not a
I think
stretch.
you're being a little racist. They're two different countries.
The two- yes.
thank
Yes. Because everyone who speaks Portuguese is from Portugal.
you. Yes,
And everyone who speaks Spanish is clearly from Spain.
yes, Spain. Actually, that was a different. Anyways, but let me go back to that comment you made about the TV deals and stuff.
Yeah.
I think that as you were explaining this part, I think that I think AEW. How can I phrase this? Okay, so
Rebecca will tell us.
I think that AEW needs to find another channel ASAP. It doesn't have to be Collision. It doesn't have to be Dynamite. It can be another show, but it has to find another home, because right now in the shuffle of things, in the larger scheme of things, we're talking about the Warner Brothers getting acquired, rejecting proposals from other companies, which is that is crazy just to think about. They're like, no, we're not that cheap, and I'm not that cheap. You gotta buy me a beer at least or something. I don't know. In that sense, you don't know what's gonna happen in the next couple of years. You don't know how things are gonna change.
Warner Brothers is going to get sold. That whole thing that you're talking about, I'm pretty sure from people I've talked to that it's a ruse, because Warner Brothers wanted more time to break up the two properties first. And
I think that's
all these other companies saw that writing on the wall, so they were like, no, we're going to move in and bid, and you're going to break your corporate bylaws by not accepting one of these bids, just like what WWE and Vince is getting sued selling to TKO now when there's better deals on the table. And if you understand corporate structure, basically they're going to get screwed either way. But Warner Brothers is scrambling to figure out how to break up the properties between films and television and the TNT Warner properties and all that crap, but they're getting screwed. And Skydance should be able to buy them.
No, I don't think that should be. I mean, probably it will happen, but I don't think that's the best option. Like I said, Apple needs to come into the game of these things, buy these companies, buy the channels, man. I don't care. Like, but if
Apple should, but Skydance. How amazing would it be if Showtime actually beat HBO and won in the end? Because that's Skydance, Paramount, Showtime. All of a sudden, you have Showtime Max now with your Max. TNT NHL. Let's go.
Well, hey, hockey. What up?
Hockey, eh?
Hockey.
By the way, the Ducks are looking better than ever. They just beat
day
the Penguins
3 of the season.
Didn't they start like Thursday of last week?
They are 2-1. Their rookie Bennett Seneke, who is
how long is the NHL
18,
season?
19 years old,
62 games?
82,
as long as an NBA
games.
season, bro. I mean,
really?
Like
the seriously?
They run around the same. Yeah.
I was gonna wear a Chiefs jersey today, but I skipped it so I could be more wrestling.
That's not
related.
basketball.
I did the Fulham third kit here.
I know. I should have
because it's
worn.
their only cool colors, by the way. The other Fulham jerseys are trash in my opinion.
I like the white one. I like the white one.
You like the homes?
Thanks, Brent.
I like the
put
home
Brent's
one, yeah.
put Brent's comment on the screen and read it.
I will do that because it's Brent, not because you asked.
Yeah,
Thank
we
you,
don't
Brent.
support. Aren't they
Very
a
insightful.
movie? Aren't they
Yeah.
a Disney movie? I thought they were always a
They
Disney
were
movie.
three Disney
so was the
movies.
Cleveland Baseball Club. But
Emilio Estevez, the only one that kept their actually Latin
Major-
last name.
It's a good fun movie for what it is, but the actual hockey portions of it are about some of the worst bits of filmmaking of all time, where like at one point they have two guys playing one-on-one, a coach and his rival or something, and if you watch it shot by shot, they switch hands, like the right-handed and then left-handed in the next shot, and then also like the goalies will like miss a shot, they'll be standing on one like listen, you guys know how silly all the hockey stuff looks. I don't have to explain it to you.
All right.
I gotta hack into the account and delete.
I think out of the Estevez, family members, I think Charlie Sheen got the best with
Major League.
Major League, yes. I actually really like that movie, and that has really bad baseball on it because what's his name? Wesley Snipes cannot fucking throw a ball or.
But Charlie Sheen used to pitch.
Charlie Sheen,
he really did. He
really
had the motions down.
Yeah, he was like 80. No, like I think he could throw like 86, something like that.
Charlie Sheen also this week said that having sex with men made him more manly and put him in elite rarefied air along with other famous men who have had sex with men like Mick Jagger or some shit. Because Charlie Sheen is winning. He can do those things.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
where did he said this? Because I
don't know. I just read that quote somewhere earlier today.
I was listening to him and Conan O'Brien. It was really good. Did not, homosexual intercourse did not came on the.
I think Charlie Sheen is beyond sexuality labels, and he's just trying to put it in something. And at some point, he's going to run out of places to put it in, but not yet.
Well, he is beyond sexuality at this point.
It's like that Hernandez.
Or did he stop? Or he got
HIV. Yeah,
got the thing.
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
So
that's a bummer of a show.
That's not all right.
I'm going to move on to hot takes and sausage now because that's an appropriate segue. I'm changing this. Before this was everybody just throws a hot take. We got a few topics that are kind of hot take instigators in and of themselves. So let's hit these things. We'll bust through them a little quicker than our big topic, and we'll see what you guys think in the chat there about some of these things. Number one, let's talk a little IWGP, which I'm sure a lot of you haven't watched. So here's what you need to know. It's a Japanese wrestling company, New Japan, but the IWGP belts are in Stardom and New Japan.
No. New Japan has a commission, just like WWE used to have, like kayfabe, like people who are the boss and would run the company or suspend people. And so the IWGP is their like sanctioning commission.
It's a sanctioning body, yes. Right. Yeah, it's like
so the titles are the IWGP titles. Yeah.
And when was the last time the IWGP heavyweight title was on a wrestler that was not signed to New Japan?
He is signed
to New Japan.
Yes.
Yeah, he's both AEW and New Japan.
Yeah. They make a big deal about that, especially when he
so is Shuri.
Shuri is Stardom, which is owned or partnered up. They're owned by Bushiroad, which owns New Japan, and so.
But she also has an AEW contract now.
That's funny you say that because it's like she came to AEW for a couple of weeks, got her elbow surgery, and then went back to work at her day job at Stardom. So.
And then they dropped the belt to her. So now you have Shuri and Takeshita.
But she had it beforehand. She had it before Suri.
But she had it before she was AEW. So what I'm saying is now you have Takeshita and Shuri, who both are, see, this is why it's a hot take, are IWGP champions.
Yeah.
That they won it at King of Pro Wrestling this week. If you guys haven't seen it, log into Byron's New Japan account and make sure you're in English mode and not Japanese like I was.
Password is Casey Chode 69.
Right. And so is this the same as what TNA's been doing with NXT, or does this hurt the brand that these guys are also now associated with AEW? Like, is New Japan especially having trouble fielding talent? Like, you know me, I'm not a huge Zack Sabre Jr. fan, so I can't say I'm upset that he dropped. I didn't really see him as a great champion. I felt that he was transitional anyway. But I don't know about this Takeshita thing. I really don't. I don't know if I feel like he's the right choice to lead the company to the future when he's got one foot in both ponds.
Yeah, so that's the difficulty is AEW wanting him, which is the reality is we know AEW will want him Wednesdays. He says that he could show up for any tour, do anything in Japan that he wants. He has contracts with them, and then I think he probably also has a DDT contract too. I think he said something about
Tony got him out of. I think Tony got him out of his DDT.
But yeah, I mean, as far as Shuri is concerned, she's Stardom talent. I don't think she's established at all, or even like needed to be booked in AEW. I don't know when that's going to be an issue. You know how Tony likes to sign people and then forget about them, and I think we'll see if that's ever an issue. But with Takeshita, I think it's great. He had it. I think a lot of it builds into his storyline of being an outsider and being someone that New Japan rejected and coming in and improving a lot of people wrong. And also as a heel gets to be someone as an outsider, not AEW outsider, DDT outsider, who comes in and says, I'm better than all of your guys. But he hasn't necessarily established himself so much as a New Japan guy besides a really great G1. But I think it works. I think we'll see how much he can work there. They don't do as much as American companies do with their world champion as often, the frequency. But I think you're looking at.
I agree with this comment from Race's fan here.
No, I don't know how much Okada wants to mess with.
But did you see tonight? Like they're teasing that's where they're going in general.
They've been doing that AEW for the longest time. So
I know, and it's like how do you save New Japan? Send Okada back. Take Takeshita with him and like.
I mean, it would be a big money match if Okada put Takeshita over in Japan. I think though that to your point of him being an outsider,
what about
Takeshita,
the other way around? Wouldn't that
Okada doesn't need to?
That wouldn't that have make Takeshita a lot bigger if he will win?
No, I'm saying Okada.
Over. Yeah, he said Okada.
Because I mean, at this point,
I agree with that because, and honestly, I almost think that TK should let him go. I think Takeshita should be the one reverse acquisition guy. Like, he came through AEW to make his way into New Japan, which he couldn't do before for some reason. And he comes around the back way into New Japan, and I think if he's gonna do it, I feel like he's got to leave AEW for a while. Like, just let the guy go. Like, I don't need to see him every Wednesday in the Don Callis family right now. Let him go save that whole company. It's better for wrestling to save a whole company than for me to see him for 10 minutes on a fucking Wednesday.
Okay, 100%.
And a faction with 37 other guys.
He's way more valuable to the industry. And I want to say one more thing, and I'm going to turn my mic off. He's way more valuable in New Japan as their champ.
Yes.
But I also think it's interesting when you talk about people being bid on by multiple companies that raises their contract rates or the perks in the contracts. But I think I see something interesting in Takeshita where he signed to different companies, and it's not so much the money. That might be something I'm not privy to, though. His booking. One of them is saying you're more important to us than you are to the other company. They made him featured in winning the G1 and the world champ in a big deal. Zack Sabre Jr. represented Japan. By the time he was champ, he was representing and living in Japan. He represented that company's values. So AEW, are they booking Takeshita as strong as New Japan wants to? And will that have an impact on where Takeshita chooses to go? And then also, it's something to question is which contract has priority? Because that has to be written down. One of them has to have a first option on a
So,
date.
are you saying that being a
dollar
wrestler
one?
with a muffin top is representing Japan?
You hate Zack Sabre Jr., but Zack Sabre Jr. rules.
He's a
and he
wrestler
worked
with
there.
a muffin top.
Mm,
I'm just saying. Like
mm.
maybe he
Okay.
could beat me up in a street fight, but still.
He is amazing. He calls people dickheads. He he rips into politics he hates during his intros when he walks to the ring to the camera. But everyone speaks Japanese running the TV show, so they don't know what he's saying. Whereas if he did it on AEW, they just tell him not to do it on AEW.
Yeah.
All
So
right.
he's
So
great.
I believe the question was if what New Japan and AEW are doing, is it comparable to what WWE and TNA are doing? And the answer is no, because the audience level for TNA, at least what we just discussed about having 8,000 people on their pay-per-view, and the possibility of going viral, just like the clips that they had of the Hardys, there is no comparison on that level. What WWE and TNA are doing, it's on a larger stage, and yes, it's it good for New Japan, sure, but it's not comparable. And I don't think we should be doing those comparisons. It's like the same thing comparing AW to WWE. There are different kinds of leagues, and I'm not saying one is worse than the other. It's just like you got Liga Premier, and then you have the Spanish Liga, so La Liga. So it's just different. I don't think they're comparable on that level, and I cannot get into the minutia of little things like the IWGP and if it's good for the contracts. I fucking don't know, but I don't think that is comparable on that level.
Okay. And I believe that is the correct answer, personally. I'm going to move on to the next question. And if you really want to know what a muffin top is, ask Byron to see his senior photos. I think he'll explain everything.
Why would that be in a senior photo?
Because you were the one wearing the low-waisted pants.
But
Jesus,
senior
now I
photos
want to see
chest
it.
up. You don't see the waistline.
I'm not the one that wore low-waisted bell bottoms to
No
my
one gets
photo
the
shoot.
joke you're trying to make because
Okay.
it doesn't make sense.
Okay. Let's talk about the Jericho Cruise, because this I find very exciting. The Jericho Cruise 2026 has not only moved to fall instead of spring, which was intentionally done by Jericho, and he didn't really tell a lot of people why, but I think we're starting to see a little bit of the vision here.
Little bit.
He's moved it to fall and spring, but also one AEW talent has been announced for this show.
Tony
Lacey
Khan.
Lane, who debuted last week, is the only person currently. Exactly.
We'll see.
Okay.
She was booked as a tag team with Katie Canizaro when they were both
Sorry
independent.
for interrupting. Go ahead, man. Just give the whole thing.
Anyway, so is Jericho setting sails for different seas here with his cruise not featuring any AEW talent? I'm going to kick this off a little bit because I feel like there's a few things at play here. This does not necessarily signify that Jericho is done with AEW. What it does, however, clearly prove is that if there is going to be a deal with AEW, it certainly hasn't been done yet.
Yeah.
Clearly, his contract is coming to an end. I think he pushed it because if it was going to be in spring, he would have to announce that AEW talent was going to be on the show, which he could not do. So he had to push it to fall of November. No one understood why, when you're selling out a whole cruise, he would push from his normal springtime departure to November of 2026 and wait a whole year and a half between.
That's when you get a cruise on. Sorry, that's when you get a cruise on sale in November, and you go and you wear a long sleeve shirt the whole time.
So,
or are they going to like Norway or something. What is it? Norwegian cruise.
It is. It's
cool
it is
cruises.
Norwegian.
It is a
Glacier
Norwegian
cruises.
cruise.
It
Yeah,
is a
so-
Norwegian cruise line,
yeah.
but they typically actually go to the fun places. It's not like Finland ice chipping trip.
I want to go to one of those.
Actually, I've heard those are kind of fun.
The blue ice thing. I want to do the blue ice.
The glacier cruises.
Yeah.
yeah,
Whoa.
those glacier
gonna-
cruises are not terrible.
You know, you
Yeah,
could go on a cruise to Antarctica. It's like
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I
$25,000.
want to do one of those before they disappear. So
Look,
you
the
know,
real fun
It's
is
like
the boat
one out of
anyway.
100 chance you don't come back, but it's great if you get there and you walk around with the penguins.
I lived in the Yukon, so I'm gonna be good.
And Byron, none of us is pushing our ex overboard like you did. It's fine.
What?
Hold on. Don't put that. Don't put that on
We
record
can edit
anywhere.
the show before we post it. It's fine.
I'm
We're
pretty sure
live
this is live.
now. First of
Oh,
all,
God.
that's a joke. Officially, that's a joke. Everyone knows that's a joke. We don't even have to say it's a joke.
look,
What's the next topic?
the NDA I signed and the restraining order she had signed will mean that we can't really talk about it, so it's fine.
Every ex could be accounted for, and if not, it's not my fault.
So is
That's
Byron,
me reading the lawyer
aka
statement.
Cliff Booth?
Yes.
What is that?
Nothing.
The basis for Metallica?
No, Cliff Booth was in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Yeah.
So here's my question for you guys. Obviously, this does mean that Jericho hasn't signed with AEW. Do we think he's out the door? And what is the future of something like the Jericho Cruise if he does end up going to WWE? Is the whole thing off? Are we going to see TNA talent over there all of a sudden, or other people? Do we think? Like what becomes of the Jericho Cruise if he? Because I mean, they taped Ring of Honor tapings there last year.
Well,
They did matches for AEW too in the past.
right. Like
they did
it was
Dynamite match.
integral. It was an integral part of the programming. Yes.
Yeah, I mean they had to bring in
also-
whole different comedians because RJ and Nigel were the comedy acts before. Like it's a whole different vibe this year.
Another thing to
ahead.
consider is that I have a take on it, but I just want to throw out something before you guys go. Is that he came up with the idea when he was still in WWE, and they told him to fuck right off.
Right.
So he went to AEW, and then he just brought it up and started it there.
All right. So let me read. I got to read the lineup. So of course you've got Chris Jericho who's going to be there, and Fozzy will be playing several shows. Your VIP guests this year, your top stars are Jeff Hardy, Saraya, and Muda.
Wait, so you already
That's
have
dope.
TNA people there,
Correct. You have Jeff Hardy there, and he's wearing his-
WWE adjacent people too.
correct.
Wait, so you're
Then
gonna have
you've
you're gonna
got
have Muda on a wheelchair on a boat that's moving around and what?
correct. Those are your top three stars. Jeff Hardy, who is 47, 48. Saraya, who doesn't wrestle anymore, and Muda, who doesn't wrestle anymore. Okay. Then you've got your next top three guests, which are Dave LaGreca, Nick Nemeth, and Billy Ray, who are basically podcasters on Busted Open, even though Nick is obviously still wrestling and in great shape, but Bubba literally handed over his boots. Then you've got Corey
I heard
Jade
Dave LaGreca is in great shape too.
Hold
Great
on, Nick
to be in the
Nemeth
ring.
question. Is he still wrestling in TNA? Is he involved in any of the NXT stuff?
he
Wasn't
got
he
the
just the
double
champion?
pin. He got the double pin in the gauntlet match alongside Kazarian. So now they're both holding basically the TNA's version of Money in the Bank.
He's doing
Simultaneously.
stuff that's separate from their NXT stories.
Yes, he has not been really involved in the NXT stories. Then you've got
All right.
Cora Jade, formerly or Elena Black, formerly Cora Jade. Then you've got Brad Williams, who is not a wrestler, but
He's a
very funny and
comedian.
loves wrestling.
He's been on all of the.
All right,
things.
and then we've got Ted DiBiase, Carlito, Shotzi Blackheart, Fred Ottman, Vampiro,
boat.
Buff Bagwell,
Tugboat on a boat.
Blue Meanie, AJ Francis, Natalia Markova, Victoria Crawford, Mo Jabari, Indy Hartwell, Lacey Lane, the one AEW representative currently, Casey Catanzaro, Ricky Knight Jr., Sonny Ono, Chris Van Vliet, and Gabby Laspisa, who are also media personalities. So in our list of wrestlers, where there's normally tons of wrestlers, they don't even normally list the media people that are going to be there. You've got Dave LaGreca, Bully Ray, Gabby Laspisa, and Chris Van Vliet. And Gabby Laspisa, by the way, did a phenomenal job on the TNA pay-per-view. Yeah. Shout out to Gabby. So then you've got comedians that are coming in that I've never heard of, who are all up and coming people that Brad Williams likes. And then the hockey great Ted Irvine, who's Chris Jericho's dad, who's going to also be there.
How was he available for this?
Chris is wheeling him out to make him pour drinks, apparently, because he's listed as the bartender's assistant or some shit. So anyway, this is what you get from the Jericho Cruise. If I read you last year's list, it's like Bobby Lashley was there with MVP, like hanging out and wrestling. Like
you could get wasted with Will Ospreay.
Apparently
I did. And so did 87% of the people on the boat, because Will Ospreay somehow managed to be at every single event. He would run in with Alex Windsor and his posse of people. He would have like so they had this drink ticket thing where, like, if you got the all you could drink stuff, you could get 2 drinks at a time. So him and Alex Windsor would go to the bar. They'd get their 4 drinks. He'd take Alex's extra. So he would be walking around literally triple fisted in every bar they walked into. He would pound them. Was totally coherent, not like sloppy wasted, but yet managed to drink and party. And like Brent was there. Brent will tell you, see, Brent knows. It was amazing because, we'd be running around just trying to get to events. And by the time you'd get there, all of a sudden Will Ospreay would run in and just have another cocktail, a full one, and then he'd down it, and he'd party on, and he'd go off to the next place. And by the time you get there, Will Ospreay was already the life of the.
What you did?
He was already the life of the party in the next place. He was amazing. Anyway, I expected nothing like that. So I don't know what the fate of Jericho is. I'm more worried about the cruise, is what I've realized.
Well, yeah, no,
I
think Jericho is a really smart business person within the industry. I think he looks at big picture stuff where he might look at when he's in WWE, the faces and heels, where they are on the cards, and he can kind of see where he's on the card, and he can see where's the slot I can fill and actually be successful. And he saw where WWE was sort of using him less and less. And they respected him, but he wasn't a day-to-day player there. And he went to AEW, became the biggest person there, and he did a lot of great stuff in AEW, and he did a lot of great stuff for AEW. But
let me answer Rebecca's question real quick. No, that is not where they did karaoke. That was actually at All In.
That's All In.
Which Brent was also at, because Brent was on that same stage. Hey, there you go.
So Jericho just knows time and place, keep things fresh, character-wise, business-wise. I remember reading in one of his books where he wanted a certain figure on his contract, and Vince didn't want to do it. So then Jericho tweeted a picture of him with the TNA logo, like a silhouette of him and a TNA logo. He just tweeted that, and then he got the phone call. He knows how to play the game, and he knows.
This is why I say I don't know if I believe that he's gone from AEW, because Tony Khan might back up that money truck one more time. I know that Jericho's a little bit damaged goods right now. He's been semi-canceled by smart marks and insiders. I think where the casuals can feel that Jericho is canceled, but don't really understand or know why. And it's too much to get into. We can have a whole episode on that at some other point in time. My feeling is we're already losing the fan fest side of WrestleMania because it's going to Saudi Arabia. And now this is another great fan fest thing where the fans have really taken on a life of its own. I care less what you think about Chris Jericho one way or the other. The Jericho Cruise has taken on a life beyond Chris Jericho, whether he knows it or not. It is another amazing fan festival thing that happens every year where real fans get to go and experience wrestling together. And it is just like WrestleCon and whatnot. And the fact that we could potentially see a very degraded Jericho Cruise right before we get no WrestleCon for WrestleMania, the next year, it just sucks. I mean, these are two big fan festival events that are basically downgraded now.
Let me ask you this to that point. Suppose he signs WWE for whatever is going to happen.
No, Brent
and-
definitely did not go for Chris Jericho.
That's funny. Suppose that happens. Suppose just that path happens, and they're not going to let him do the cruise anymore.
I don't think that's what
Right?
I don't think that's what lead to that. I don't think that's the outcome of that. I think that WWE will take the cruise, make it like 3 different cruises, and it will be like a Disney cruise now with WWE.
So you think WWE will take it and brand it,
Yes,
and basically Jericho will license it to them?
Yeah, of course. That would
Or
be
do
a
you
good deal.
It would be.
It's part of the
TKO
Jericho package at this point.
Yeah, it
You
is
think-
exactly. Yeah, but I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Byron. I'm gonna do what you do all the time.
Do it.
But I think, but I don't even think the money is a problem. To what you were saying, Outlaw. I don't think that money is the problem. I think creative is the problem. I think I want to be. I still want to be in the mix, and I don't think that's where I'm not TK. I have the same first name, not the money.
Truth.
And I don't think that's where this situation is at. I don't think that is because I want to get paid more. I don't think that's even an issue here. I think the fact is that he might have to take a step back, and I don't know how effective he is in that position. The whole 3 whatever of knowledge, whatever Ixadril, whatever you want to call it. I don't think that's how. I don't think it
Learning
worked.
tree?
Is
The learning
Drasil,
tree.
whatever. The learning tree. Thank you. I don't think it didn't work as well as other iterations of the Pinnacle and the JAS and all that stuff, because it was very mid card, and then it will take a whole bunch of time on TV, and it didn't work. So I think that's where the problem is. But if you bring Jericho into WWE and you push him one last time for like a year and a half or something, and then you go like, hey, yes, and we're gonna do Jericho cruise every 15 days, come out of Orlando, and you're gonna get to see Batista and The Rock, and I think that's a deal. Would it be the same thing? I don't think so, because it seemed like the Jericho cruise was like an indie thing that
Mm.
it got big
Yeah, but
names.
there's been a
now
lot
and
of
then.
top guys at WWE that'll tell you they've always wanted to go on a Jericho cruise.
Yeah,
Well,
You don't get to
WCW
go.
Exactly.
Yeah,
yeah.
WCW used to do the cruise, so like a big company used to brand it. I think if WWE TKO did it, the prices would probably triple.
Yeah, I literally have had a couple of people,
Yeah, but yeah.
couple performers from WWE ask me after they found out that I went last year, like, "Oh, what was it like? I've always wanted to go on one." Blah blah blah. Like literally, they're not allowed to go. So maybe this would be a window where some WWE talent could actually go, and I think some of them would be excited to attend. It'll be interesting to see where it goes.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, let me go back to this list. Let me. We started to talk about this earlier. I want to approach it briefly, but the heels turning on heels, the Seth Rollins thing, the Raw thing, like I get it, and I think it was Goatse or Races. One of these guys was asking about,
Say it slower.
Seth needed some time off, and that might be the case because it looks like there was some injury stuff that happening, but I don't know if the story changed or not. Maybe it did, maybe it didn't. But I just don't understand heels turning on heels.
Yeah.
When the whole them dragging Heyman with them kept them from it being a face turn. To me, maybe I'm wrong, but you guys can tell me what you think. So now we have a heel turning on a heel because you can't turn Seth back right now. That doesn't make any goddamn sense. I mean, you could just give up and turn Seth back, but now that's going to diminish him as a babyface, and we don't need him as a babyface.
If the injury is real, they come back as baby faces.
They do?
If the injury is
No,
real,
he comes
then
back.
wrestlers come back from injuries as baby faces.
Oh,
You have to that's something you don't have a lot of control over in most.
But then what are we doing with this belt? I mean, they set up the whole thing for Punk to be a number one contender or whatever, and I don't know. It just seems it did seem hot shotty, so I do believe the injury may have been the catalyst for it. It is interesting. I just don't like the heels turning on heels thing, and I feel like if you were going to do that, why the fuck did we have Seth Rollins win? That seems super odd because this story would have worked great if he loses and these guys are like, no, we really are turning on you.
Yeah, okay. The question is why the turn after that's
after
the whole
win.
After the win. That is the whole question. That is the only question. It doesn't matter if it works or not. The question is why in narrative, why would you have that? Maybe they just realized that the next day that he needs to take time off. That's the only thing that
And that might very well be the case.
I do want to make
the case. I think at least they made it interesting.
Yeah,
I do want
to make the point though.
Yeah,
the coast to coast headbutt. If the injury is real, coast to coast headbutt, stupid. Stupid.
It looks like that might have been where the injury happened, but then also to me, taking the spear from Braun that they barely got the shot of, by the way, also not advisable.
They did.
Yeah.
By the way,
feel like they missed the shot because they had a decent replay at the very, very end of the show, but they missed the fucking shot, which is ridiculous.
It bothers me so much when a wrestler bumps or does a risk of some sort and they don't even get it on the show. I mean, that just like they're doing something stupid and risking their lives doing a bump or whatever, and it's not even going to be. And it's not going to be, and then it doesn't even like make it on the show. Like grant them the respect of knowing how to shoot a TV show and having something mean something. Anyway,
are you talking about a company in particular, or no? I'm kidding. I'm gonna move on. I'm gonna shut the fuck up.
Yeah, I mean we could go on at 5 tangents, but I think this was the obvious end game for the story where Braun and Bronson are being elevated by Heyman and Seth. But in the meantime, Seth will get a run.
How is that? Okay.
But I think that's the end game. But I think an injury is legit and popped up, and their best creative, I'm not saying a good creative idea, but the best creative idea was, all right, let's just skip to that part.
Can I ask you a question real quick, Byron? During the big Papa Pump, holler if you hear me, chainmail U.S. title run in WCW, was Scotty a face or a heel?
He was a world champion, and he was a heel that you loved.
Correct.
But that was
but he never did babyface shit.
That was all the WCW heels. All the WCW heels were super cool. All the ones at the top were super cool, and that kind of ruined the business a little bit for a minute.
Dom's doing it right now. I think you have Braun do it too. I think you leave these guys heels. You don't have them do the redeeming stuff. You just let them be heels, and if the crowd cheers them, the crowd cheers them. But they're still heels. You still write them like heels all day long.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. People do love and respect their work. Bronson, by the way, pinned Okada. He's pinned Okada, and he's pinned Roman Reigns. Kind of a big deal.
Jonah pinned Okada, but yeah.
Jonah.
Just one thing, like, so can somebody explain to me, because I think it was like Simon Miller or somebody that I was listening to, and he's like Braun, right? Is that his name?
One of them.
Yeah, the Papa Pump kid, yeah.
Yes,
the
nephew.
All right. So can you guys explain to me why is he such a big deal? That was a pregnant pause right there.
His pedigree, and he seems to do good work.
Nepotism.
But he also does solid work. He
has
his way legitimacy. He has legitimacy to him.
Okay.
It's weird to me though that he also has a spear finish, and there's too many people with spear finishes.
But everyone else should stop because his is the best one. I don't really want to see it from Jey Uso anymore because Jay's is
he doesn't even do one technically.
Right, but it's like part of it. Like I've had feuds with Roman, and Roman's my cousin, so now I do the spear too. Roman's spear is mediocre compared to Braun's.
Just for the people on the chat, like Comatose, that's a great name. it's not that I hate him. It's just that or love him. I know that's the problem. I have no feelings towards the guy because I know I'm probably gonna hear it, but I feel like that's a smaller version of Lesnar. If
Yeah,
in
but
any
see,
case.
look, if I take the 33% of your feelings and then I combine them with the 82% of my knowledge, it leaves me at 117% positive that Braun Breaker is absolutely 4% of the guy that he needs to be the world champion.
I'm not doing math at this hour. How dare you?
Okay.
You're not even doing Steiner math?
He did
All
another
right.
Steiner Math promo and tweet after the
It
show,
was
by
great.
the way.
It was great. It was great.
That's where like Scott Steiner,
Well-
yeah, probably back in the day, especially when he was really juiced up and everyone was gung ho about keeping the spots. He was kind of a dickhead, but I think he's also an easygoing, funny guy when he's not in gimmick.
I did like Big Papa. I mean, I think it was like some roadblock or whatever it was after WrestleMania Backlash or something that he just came into WWE, and I was like, oh shit, look at this guy. Holla if you hear me. I love it. I loved it. But this kid in particular, I think, and I'm probably gonna. I mean, you guys know that I don't say this. So I think he's a little bland for my like. I like. I mean, this guy will come up with a fucking what's up mail chain. That's fucking
Chainmail is awesome.
chainmail, whatever. That's fucking awesome. Yeah. What is the charisma on this kid? I don't know. I don't know.
Let's see. Daniel agrees with you.
Is Pierce Jeet for Gym Bros?
Yeah.
I like that. I'm not criticizing that at that level.
But you're illustrating the point because
Daniel.
this is the battle that they have. They have to find a way to get him over on that level. If all of a sudden Seth's going to be out and the Bronze are going to be this big thing because Jonah's not going to do the talking. He's there to do that tsunami and he looks great and he's got his great moments. He's great in the ring. But if Braun Breaker is not the personality of between those two, they've got a serious problem. So they're going to have to work on it and see if they can get him over. And given they've got Heyman there, but Heyman with just those two guys as heaters, like Braun's going to have to do more than just be a heater if he wants that kind of.
Well, I'll keep my eye on him just because I see that everybody wants like to have him a lot. Everybody thinks that he's got a lot of potential. So I will like to see him develop. But right now, I don't know. Not even injuring Seth was.
I think your point about how everyone wants him to be this big deal is the biggest thing about him.
Yes, that is the thing. It's like, great expectations. Charles Dickens. What the fuck? Let's go.
It's a big expectation. All right, Darby Allin speaks on.
I said no math, and now you're busting out Charles Dickens.
Sorry, I have
the brain power for
literature degree.
Man. Byron hates education. All right, Darby Allin speaks out on the Ariel Helwani interview about guys who wouldn't do the job in a predetermined sport and how AEW is better without them. Says that he's not referring to CM Punk, by the way. Then who? And is he right? Or should top guys be protecting their spots when TK can't lay out a long-term story or plan for them? So
this reminds me of Hulk Hogan. When you talk about WCW era, how he said he didn't have creative control, but he would always ask, all right, what comes after that? The thing you want me to do, what's next? And that's how he got out of a lot of stuff. But also that's him being smart and protecting and looking after himself. That's Hulk Hogan.
And was that wrong? I mean, he was one of the top guys in the business. He invented what you do when you're a top guy.
I don't think that's
for
wrong
good, for better or for worse.
I don't think that's wrong for a Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
And there's my issue. So, people have speculated on who.
Nobody got that joke? Okay, good.
What'd you say?
I'm like, rest in peace.
Can we do
So people have been speculating on who Darby was talking about. A lot of people still
I think we know.
But do we?
It's Malachi Black and Rusev.
It's more Malachi Black than Rusev. And people keep asking, why was Malachi Black relegated to, Collision or whatnot? Well, because a lot of the boys in the back had some issues with him not wanting to do jobs to them and him not wanting to do the parity system that Tony Khan had kind of laid out. And several of those guys all went to Collision, including CM Punk, including Rusev. That's kind of where they put those guys. Like, okay, well, now you're all on the same show. And if none of you guys are going to job to each other, then what are you going to do? You come up with your own fucking thing. And Darby and all those guys and Orange Cassidy will go play on the other show and they'll do jobs to each other all day. And we'll see what works better. I think we saw what worked better for AEW. It wasn't Rusev. It wasn't Malachi. It wasn't Andrade at the time. It wasn't really CM Punk either, who, had a belt in the bag before Moxley had a belt in the bag. Before Orange had a belt in the bag, for that matter.
I really enjoyed everything Alistair Malachi Black did in AEW. And I think he wasted. I don't want to blame. I don't know who's really to blame. I think he, in his AEW years, really, I saw him at an indie, and I think he had it all. I think he really wasted.
Well, here's what happened at AEW. He said that he wouldn't do jobs.
Prime years of his were wasted. I think he had the aura. I think he had the work.
Were they? I mean, he got on TV all the time. So he was telling TK that he
really? I don't think that's fact.
The trios one was great.
Yes, I think my problem with Malachi was, and I believe, and this is a thing, he was very inconsistent on being on programming or like appearing like
because what would happen would be he would come in, they would try to give him something, they'd say he was going to job, he would say, okay, well, what's the long-term outlook here, what's the story we're going with? They wouldn't have an answer with him, so he would say, okay, well, get back to me when you guys have the blanks filled in here and I'll be happy to participate. They wouldn't come up with that. And then TK still loved him, so he said, okay, well, we won't do anything this week, so we'll freeze you guys out for this week, but then 2 weeks we'll bring you back, and how about you guys just go over in a match with these guys and just perform? And they'd be like, great, sure. If we're not going to do something solid or big, then just let us go out and perform, but we go over. So then you don't have to worry about it, we don't have to worry about it, and TK was fine. That's part of why Collision exists to this day, so he can have space to do that within his programming. But then that's why they didn't have these major feuds. That's why they didn't have these solid rivalries or big moments, because those guys were not going to job unless they knew what the outcome of it was, what the long-term storytelling of it was. And it doesn't seem like there was ever really an answer or a good enough answer for them. And I think other talent resented that. You got a guy like Darby, and the whole thing is, you got to look back at the mission statement of AEW. The mission statement was, let's just not do it the way that they did it before. Let's not do what Vince did. Let's not do what Hogan and Nash did. Let's just not do that. That was the whole mission statement of AEW. That's the whole fucking point. It's nothing deeper than that. It was the Bucks and Kenny and Jericho and Cody and TK all sitting around going, let's not big time like Hogan. Let's not fuck people over like Vince. Let's just have a different place where people can come and work a different way. And so to me, Darby's right and Alistair was right, because it was a place to work different and they were both working different. Darby's methodology, I think, won out in the long run because it was better for a larger cross section of the AEW locker room. And AEW is better off to not have Malachi at this point, to not have Rusev, to not have guys that see themselves as more top guys than guys that are in AEW at this point, who have now put in a considerable amount of work on TV and deserve at least that same amount of respect.
I also think there's a certain amount of being aware of the company you're in and how it works. And I think the way they operated, and you explained all the ways that it makes sense, and it does. But also, I think long term, you look at AEW is going to operate like this. You're not always going to be able to see more than 5 feet in front of you. And if you don't want to do business like that, then don't do business.
Well, and they have one writer and one booker.
Yeah, we could spend another 5 hours on a lot of stuff in that regard.
So just as a hey Daniel, esta foto que Daniel.
Yes, we all miss Lucha Underground, which is why we're going to talk about it next. But go ahead, Tony.
But was it was I don't know. This is like, was it not talking about Punk for real? Like what?
No,
was
they're
it-
friends.
No,
They're
they're friends.
friends.
They're totally
Oh,
friends.
they're
They're the
friends.
two
So he
straight
was-
edge guys. And he even said later in the interview, because of course anything that
clarify.
hits the dirt sheets is taken completely out of context, and nobody listened to
So
the whole 50-minute interview like I did.
probably he just went like, oh wait, this is gonna go
No,
fast.
Ariel says later to him, like, you're not talking about CM, are you? And Darby's like, no, I'm friends with CM. And also he did jobs for people. Look
Yeah,
at
I
what
don't
he did in AEW. Like, he's not the guy I'm talking about, bro.
Yeah.
That wasn't the issue Punk had, and that's another whole podcast.
Well, I am going to talk about Lucha Underground now. Can I do that? Can I talk-
But I thought it was kind of a weird thing.
AAA thing.
All in all, I think it was a weird thing for Darby to bring up. I don't know at this point what there is to gain or why, unless he was asked the question specifically and he was responding. I don't know what you stand to gain by saying we're better off without these people and everything is great now. Like it's cool, but like make a good show.
Darby's
Make a good
weird
show.
cat. But also he's saying, like, it's the new thinking about wrestling. It's the new way that TKO thinks about wrestling, which is, guys, it's predetermined. Don't take this shit too seriously. And a lot of these top guys from the past, they took kayfabe very, very seriously. And those guys also have to understand that, like, the business has changed.
Mhm.
There's nobody watching wrestling now expecting to see a sporting contest. They're not expecting to see a winner that is winning on pure athletic merit. We all know that is no longer the case.
Wait,
However,
this shit is predetermined?
I do have some issues with wrestlers who take that too far and don't make it look like it's still a fight. Even if it's a pretend fight, we have to be doing things in the ring that exhibit a fighting nature or fighting spirit, guys. And I'll get into that in my drops of the week, because my drop of the week is going to lambast someone who has not done that on television this past week that I was very disappointed with.
I think it's also a generational thing. Punk had this specific issue, I think, with the business, in that you don't make more money in the main event specifically anymore. You make the money that your contract is now. If you don't sell seats, if you don't sell tickets, you still make your guaranteed. And that's not how a lot of the older guys came up. So I think that affects the mindset as well, because you're like, I need to be this spot on the card, or my 7 kids and 8 girlfriends don't get to eat dinner tonight.
Right. I mean, and it just needs things have changed. There's a different way to do business, and Darby may or may not be completely right, because it's still a work in progress. We have to see how this pans out, and TKO's changed the game a lot now too. All right, Lucha Underground look back time. Harken back.
You're not doing the AAA crossover thing?
Yeah, we'll come back to it maybe. But I want to get to Lucha Underground thing, because it seems like everyone wants to hear about Lucha Underground because everyone's feeling nostalgic. And I'm going to say this. I want you to harken back to a time when 9 years ago, when a not so young Ricky Banderas was wearing his pajamas to the ring every week as pajama bottom wearing blue pants Mil Muertes in the very first Grave Consequences against Phoenix, because that's the episode I want to look at this week. Season 1, episode 8. And really that match more than anything else, though there was a really fun cage match, 2 big gimmick matches in the same episode, a big cage match with Cuerno and Mundo, Cuerno and Mundo, which was great. But the Grave Consequences match was one of my favorite coffin matches of all time, since we've been talking about Darby Allin. Byron, were you at this one? I don't know if I wasn't going to Lucha Underground yet then.
I don't think so, because I remember maybe I don't know. I feel like I wasn't No, I wasn't. This was before Inks. I remember there were a couple sort of changes in direction that Lucha Underground went, and this was the specific storyline with Son of Havoc and Helico and Ivelisse. It kind of started to take a turn here because they felt like they were doing a lot of old school stuff where like and Helico would do these overly sexualized spots with Ivelisse, like painting her in sexually suggestive ways, not taking her seriously. And I don't and I don't think people responded well to that because it wasn't great. So I remember reading about that and watching it. I was not there for that. So that's the thing. A
And
lot of the
that
early
was
season.
the middle match of the 3 matches
Yeah.
of this episode was a 3-way with Son of Havoc, Ivelisse, and
He was the
Helico.
referee between the two of them.
Oh, between Son of Havoc and
No,
Evie
Son of
was
Havoc was the referee between
referee.
Ivelisse and Helico.
Gotcha.
But there were a few things like that in season 1 that they sort of took a turn on. Oh, Brent, why?
Dude, Matt Cross is a hometown boy. I'll tell him you said that, Brent.
No, I love Matt Cross. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Matt Dog.
I don't want to. I hope he's doing well, and I hope he's working, and he loves wrestling, and you got to respect that about him.
Yes.
So hold on.
We have a love-hate relationship with Son of Havoc and the son of Havoc.
Is Queen Cuerno's mask the mask for the show? Like the logo?
No.
Oh, no. It's just a sort of generic Lucha drawing.
No. I mean for Lucha Underground.
No, it's not the same mask because the King Cuerno mask has these weird square patches. That's kind of a huntery thing that's supposed to be going on there. And
I have a King Cuerno mask, by the way.
To be plain.
Did you guys
like a real one?
Have a King? Yeah,
you got one from S.
I got one. I know a guy who knows King Cuerno.
I think Johnny.
It's S by Escobar. It's my new favorite cologne.
Remember, we're trying to figure out who is who in the commercial in the trailer. We're like, because they had people under different hoods in the trailer under different characters. Like, who's this?
Correct.
And this? And then like when we found out who they were, when we talked to Skip, I think all of a sudden it became obvious. Like, oh, that's his tattoo, and this and that.
Right.
I think Cuerno was.
Who was MVP supposed to be originally?
What's his name? The reptile dude.
Pindar.
Yeah, I think the guy Steve Payne was. And Steve Payne's costume didn't fit him right. And it kept coming unzipped.
Because it was made for MVP.
Yeah. But it's a good thing that they signed Steve Payne to base for everyone.
Which, by the way, if you guys don't know, MVP did actually work for Lucha Underground. He was producing and helping out. He was going to be a character. And then he went on a podcast, and he's so used to the WWE way and that everything was live. But then, you know, all the Lucha Underground talent was coming on podcasts. Half of them were coming on this podcast. And they were going and doing stuff because that was part of the underground marketing and the word of mouth, and it was good for the show. So MVP tries to get on this bandwagon, not realizing, motherfucker, these episodes haven't aired yet and won't air for 4 months. He spoiled a bunch of stuff.
He's like, Katrina has been alive for a million years.
Oh yeah,
like,
he was saying all sorts of stuff, which to us was cool because we were using all that information. But he got himself in a little bit of trouble, and I think they mutually parted ways with him not taking a paycheck, which AKA means he got fired. So, and I love MVP, and Lucha Underground would have been an interesting place had he stuck around there because he really was, even at that time, a big veteran who had a lot of backstage experience at the E that most other people didn't really have. I mean, even Mundo didn't have that level of experience that he had. Katrina I loved Katrina starting with this match. She didn't do much for me before this match, but when she licked the Rock, I'm just going to say it did something for me. I was very happy with this match. It also, this match was to me the first real kickoff of because we had, Alberto El Patron fighting Tejano and this other stuff that felt very normal AAA top of the card. All the Conan stuff. But this was the Krista Joseph and Chris Roach stuff, which was the stuff I liked. This got into the mystical, mythological stuff, and this was the
Storytelling
match that told you this show is not just wrestling. We're really dealing with supernatural now. We're doing a coffin match, but we're saying this dude is dead and coming back to life. That's the story here. We're going full Undertaker. Like, we're not, there's no kayfabe. We're straight up mythology. And this was the match that really solidified that for the whole show to me. Because it was episode 8, right?
Yeah, the presentation for the coffin match was unlike any. Normally, you just wheel a coffin out and then you do some matches. You try and roll someone in. The whole that was incredible.
And the one for Grave Consequences 2 was even better. But
yeah,
this match, the tone of it was amazing. And, I was really hoping that Mill would lose the pajama pants, which eventually he did. But I think he still came back with them. It wasn't in the
no. When he died, he came back. Yeah.
Thank God.
They're so good. The pajama pants are funny.
The pajama pants are so bad. And if you know Ricky Banderas, it's so not him. Like the black outfit, like it was just a minor change, but it made the character so much more him when he came back. Because he's freaking Judas Messias. I mean,
so it was kind of smart to start him off like that. Just like when Okada first debuted, he looked more like Yoshihashi, and his Rainmaker was a much goofier version. And he came out, and everyone's like, "This kid sucks." And then when he actually came out for the match with Tanahashi, he was cleaned up, and he was the Rainmaker. Just like when Muertes comes out, and he's in his like black or dark purple gear, he looks way more legit, and just his aura looks more pissed off.
The next wrestler who needs a serious makeover is now officially Kenny Omega, right? I was glad to see him on the show this week. He should have been on the show last week, but he needs a haircut and a sit-up machine.
I feel like he's not in a shape. He's not leaned up, like, because of his injuries and stuff that we're used to. But yeah, he is getting that kind of Johnny Mundo hair.
Daniel, have you gotten to this episode yet? Once you get to episode 8, let us know, because again, I think it's a pivotal thing. Like, the show didn't really get its legs until the middle of season 1. Yeah. And it still did a lot of very, I don't mind the AAA stuff at all. I just didn't like, because some of it was very run of the mill AAA stuff. And, that I felt like some of that dragged the show down until they really figured out how to incorporate those matches, and that it was really the kind of matches that were opening on AAA that if you put them on the mid-card of Lucha Underground, like the Drago Aerostar kind of matches and the Phoenix stuff, and they're bringing in Phoenix and Penta, and those guys eventually worked their way up to the top of the card. They were just supposed to be opening match guys when they came in.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Lucha Underground in that respect, and other respects that people talk about all the time, revolutionized and changed the industry, changed people's fandoms for wrestling. But you also look at, this is supposed to be some show. I'm sure AAA didn't really have it on the radar too much as they're developing it. And they're like, it'll be what it is, blah, blah, blah. Let them have some fun. But it basically took a bunch of their sort of no-name beginning of the card or top early match talent that they didn't want to do much with, and it made them huge stars because they were all very talented. But then they got the avenue, and they got someone who presented them at their best, and all of a sudden you have guys like Aerostar, Drago, who are doing a lot better. You have guys like Phoenix and Penta, who all of a sudden, instead of opening matches, need to be in their main events, and then they'll have another long.
And I knew nothing about Phoenix before Lucha Underground.
Yeah.
I had seen Penta a whole bunch in his feud with Aussie Suicide. I had seen Drago. I was a huge Drago fan. Coming in, I knew who Tejano was because he had just won the Mega Championship.
Tejano was doing well beforehand.
Yeah, and I knew Alberto El Patron and Blue Demon and those guys, of course.
Some of those guys they brought in heavyweights, but like you also, but
and I knew Macias too. I had watched all of
Yeah.
Macias and Vampiro stuff from Puerto Rico and IWA or whatever that was. Like,
oh god, the stuff they would do, hopped
great.
up on painkillers and cocaine.
Oh, hopped up is the word. Hopped up.
It was good shit. It was good shit. But like it became.
If anybody wants to know how old Mil Muertes, aka Macias, aka Ricky Banderas is, good luck. First of all, if you go back to tape trading days, he's on those tapes. I think he started wrestling in Puerto Rico in 1970 when he was 2. I don't know. Like,
I think they based the Mil Muertes gimmick off of him. He is eternal.
He is eternal, and he looks exactly the same now that he did when I first met him 10 years ago.
But to my point, this launched a lot of problems business-wise for AAA, and they did get into a lot of issues. Like Phoenix and Penta quit, came back and quit. There's IP issues. Just it jammed up their business for a minute.
I see the Rock thing that you said. That's nuts. Yeah. I'm looking at it right now because I didn't watch it before.
But this match was great, and Mil Muertes bit into Phoenix's bloody face through the mask, and then spit into the crowd. Got the camera guy and fans covered in Phoenix's blood and his own spit. Now, a wrestling show, a lucha show, shit's gonna happen. This was not that. This was a Hollywood TV production.
Right.
So they were, most of them have never really been regularly to wrestling shows like that. This was something.
Having to do the disclaimer, the bodily fluids chant
bodily
disclaimer before the shows. So if you went to Lucha Underground Live, they would do this disclaimer thing, and you see it at wrestling shows all the time now. But Lucha Underground was the first time I had ever experienced it, where she would go through this whole list of you may experience strobing light effects, shaking stuff.
Well. And you all cheer.
Blah, blah, blah. And then you cheer after everyone. And then she finally gets to the last one. And bodily fluids. And then it would start a bodily fluids chant every single week. It was the grossest thing ever. But
that's funny, though.
Bodily fluids was definitely a part of Lucha Underground, especially where we tended to sit, which was on the front row of the bleachers over by the office. It was... I'm trying to think of how many times I got bled on. This is a few. I know Marty the Moth bled on me intentionally a couple of times because he's a dick. He says hi, by the way. I'm trying to see if we can get him on in the next couple of weeks. He does a thing. He does a Twitch thing on Wednesday nights. So we're don't watch his Twitch thing. Watch this. Don't you didn't hear me say that
directly.
Yeah. But he also doesn't wait for Tony Khan to finish his show, so he was done like 3 hours ago.
Smart,
because he starts at 9 on every Wednesday night, I think. Anyway, they there's links. There's Daily Motion links, Daniel. We can hook it up.
By the way, Lucha Underground is probably the best you're ever going to see Brian Cage booked. He was awesome.
We all thought he would leave there and go on to do big things. And then when he came into AEW, we were like, oh my God, they're going to make him a champion. He's going to be
Even TNA, he became champ there, but it wasn't with the same. He didn't really do much. I think he left pretty soon, but it just, nothing was ever the same as this. But he came in and he was like a top guy on the heel side. Like super dangerous. He ripped the original Lucha Underground. Sorry, spoilers. He ripped the original Lucha Underground Championship belt in half.
Yeah. So that they could retire the prop, get the write-off, and make a new one and get the budget for it. They literally, if you talk to Eric Van Wagen, they had to destroy that belt or they were not going to get another one in the budget. So they wrote in him ripping the belt up or something. And it wasn't supposed to happen the way it did, or somehow he did it better or something. I don't remember what the whole story was, but it was a big deal that they did that. I'm trying to talk to EVW too and see if he'll come through as well.
That'd be great.
So, and if you guys haven't watched some of those, if you're into Lucha Underground, go back and watch some of our interviews with Eric Van Wagenen and Chris Roach and Krista Joseph, the writers and showrunners from the show, because they've all been on here, and Skip Chasen too. has been on the show as well, who directed and created the entire vignette style of Lucha Underground, who was also an executive at the network, at El Rey Network for Rodriguez. He was basically the voice of Rodriguez in the show.
It's crazy, but to think about it, but the first few episodes, the show started off with a much more telenovela vibe.
Yes.
So, like the Vaseline on the lens and soap opera stuff and blah, blah, blah. And then Skip came in and made it gritty, made it,
Speaking of Vaseline on the lens, you know who I should call to come through again? Who we haven't seen in a long time? Carmen Perez, Captain Hotness.
Okay.
She lives in the
Norway?
Netherlands now, I think. And she's
the announcer?
She's on a show called The Royals on Netflix. That's a hit show now. No, she was the police detective in the last couple of seasons.
She was one of the actors that they brought in.
Pure actor, did not wrestle at all, but was a big part of Lucha Underground and always loved the whole thing and loved coming on the show and talking about it and stuff because she got to be in this weird part of it. But she never really got to see a lot of the wrestling. We were all the opposite. We didn't get to see the vignettes until the show aired. She didn't get to see the wrestling until the show aired because she wasn't there for a lot of it. She only came to, I think, 2 or 3 actual wrestling tapings. But anyway, Lucha Underground, great times, good times. Tony, you want me to go back to this one? Do you want to talk about this?
I just had one thought on it.
Yeah,
it's okay.
Let's talk about it. So, because I just kind of thought it was a little interesting too that Io de Dr. Wagner Jr.
I love that.
Can we say that? It's such a mouthful. My Spanish is not even good enough.
It's son of the son.
Son of the doctor, who's also a junior.
Who's also a junior, yeah, basically.
But he's not Wagner the third because he's not a doctor.
No. The thing is that he is proud of being son of Wagner Jr.
Right.
That is that's what he's trying to refer in his long ass name, which I respect. It's fine, but I mean,
he doesn't care anything about Dr. Wagner Sr.
No. He's that.
It's the weirdest fucking name ever. And we need some kind of good abbreviation for it. EHDDWJ.
Just so you guys know, Daniel, it's from the same city as all these people. That's why he's so proud of them. Of the Wagner family and Andrade and everyone else.
Well, and I've really grown on Wagner because at first I wasn't keen. I was like, because I was a big Dr. Wagner Jr. fan. Bien. That was my dude.
Were you a fan of his Instagram too?
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Shut it. So I thought it was interesting. So they're doing a Latin American title versus, or maybe they're not. I don't even know because the match announcement was so weird. But Ethan Page,
it was very confusing, to be honest.
Wagner and Ethan Page are facing off. Half the promo was in Spanish, which I love. I think it's great. They need to let more talent do that.
I have an objection, but go ahead.
You didn't like that he did part of the promo?
I love when they allow us to speak Spanish, especially the Spanish speaking people. Throwback to
but they forced him to translate himself, which was maybe not a good idea.
No. The problem is if you're doing that and then there is no crowd reaction to what he's saying, and then you haven't speak English, that makes it look bad. And I understand that, I'm pretty sure it was the crowd in Orlando, right? Which I'm pretty sure they can have.
No, a lot of the crowd did understand, and they were popping, but all the Puerto Ricans were off on one side.
Oh, okay. Because
that's just kind of the way NXT is. It's kind of clicked out, and a bunch of people always go, and there's this group of Puerto Rican fans that always sits kind of behind the announcers.
I felt that he spoke Spanish, and that's what I want to talk about it, because I feel like he spoke Spanish, and then they, I don't know, pipe some fucking sounds. I don't care. Just make it sound relevant when he speaks Spanish, right? Make it.
Well, and then also Ethan disses him right after it too. I didn't understand any of that. So what are you saying?
And he should have been like, "Well, motherfucker, you should learn to another language."
But see, I think you crossed the boundaries there, and what would have been better to me is Ethan going, "Oh, so you're saying you want a no holds bar match with me?" I think that he almost should translate it for you and just be like, "Oh, really, motherfucker? Okay, I'll do your Day of the Dead match or whatever." But So they're doing the Dia de los Muertos match, and I don't know if both titles are on the line, but they're both title holders, and it sounded like maybe it's title versus title, because that was kind of the way the promo started. Like, I'm the North American champ, you're the Latin America champ. I'm gonna make it all one big thing or whatever. So
One big America,
I hope that
one America.
this is the belt that goes to AAA, personally. And I'd love to see Ethan and Chelsea go down there and have some fun.
Byron
You
did
know?
not like that idea. He
Byron
just
was like,
walked off
"I'm
the
out."
stage. Latin America, fuck that.
Oh no, he
Now,
left us a message in the private
Oh.
chat that everyone else can't see. It says, "I'll be right
Uh,
back. Gotta
no.
take a monster crap. I didn't watch this show anyway."
That's not what he says. Anyways, I am really hoping it will be great. And I think that, in this idea of talent exchange, I think they should try to push these guys the most that they can, because I really like. First of all, I really like the mask. It's something autochtono. I don't know how to say that in English. There's something just like very Mexican to the mask, that it goes beyond race mask or what?
She said, "I'm always putting
I
somebody
know, I
over."
saw that. Yeah. So I just really like the mask, but I also like what he said. I like the way he said things. I think that was a really great promo. Like,
He's
in
super
both-
solid now. Like, he's
Yes,
come a
yes.
long way in the last few years. Like, I remember seeing him at the beginning when his dad lost the mask, and he was just starting out and doing stuff. And I was like, yeah, whatever. Like, I wasn't really feeling it, but that's because I loved his dad so much. But now it's
Probably,
like
yeah.
he's
I
been.
know what you mean. Yeah.
I haven't followed a ton of his stuff for the last couple of years, but now seeing him again, and I've been watching him for like probably the last 4 or 5 months. I've really caught up on what he's been doing and watching his match and everything. Like, the kid's got it. He got it, and he got it fast. He's money, and the in ring is great too. I mean, like, the gimmick is good, and it feels different than his dad, but it's he's inhabiting it. And I just my concern with the whole thing, and the whole reason why I brought it up and why I think it's a hot take, is because I don't see this working if a AAA belt comes to NXT. I see this working better if an NXT belt goes to AAA to start. Then later, maybe you do it the other way. I just don't know if WWE thinks that way. I think that they think
I don't know.
that there's a hierarchy here, and TNA and AAA are below NXT, and then NXT is, and I don't think they should be looking at it that way. I think they should be looking at what is the best way to bring the Latino market respectfully into their market.
Oh, I think that if they give him the title, that will put a lot of the AAA eyes on NXT immediately, and also,
Yeah,
I think that it will give him this, because my fear is that, of course, you got Phoenix and Penta and Ray. So somebody was mentioning in our chat that that they're gonna start taking masks off, and that will destroy Latin culture. Like, that will destroy Lucha Libre immediately. You cannot have that happen.
well, here's the problem with it. WWE, and this is a little bit of an AEW issue as well, is they won't pay mask match rates. And for people who don't understand Lucha Libre culture, here the thing is, you work up your gimmick to a certain point, whether it's you're the pretty boy with the long hair, whether it's the mask, whatever. The Apuestas matches make sense because it's a big payday. The guys get paid more to lose their mask. And it's a big deal. It's a traditional thing. It's a passing of the torch. A lot of times it's quadruple at least of any regular payday for most of these guys. It's typically the biggest payday of their whole career. And you're expected to get more. WWE's not going to do that. They're not going to pay for somebody's mask. And it's one of the reasons why a lot of people still to this day have an issue with Rey Mysterio, because he took it off for WCW without getting any more money for it.
Yep.
And
That's still an issue. I like.
yeah, and a
then
lot of people criticized him for it, and he put it back on.
Yeah, then he takes photos without the mask with the family and posts them on social media. I mean, that
Because he's already lost the mask. He didn't do that before then, but now it's like we know what Oscar looks like. So now he's running around, and he just put up a couple of photos on his IG the other day that have 1 million hits on it with Oscar with his dyed beard and not knowing and not being in the Rey Mysterio mask.
I think that
when I run up on him in a restaurant, ask for an autograph is all I'm saying. I won't.
I think that and for AAA,
I agree, Daniel. He is one of the best juniors in Lucha Libre right now.
and then later on, he's like, in this case, junior son.
Yeah, a junior, the son of a junior.
Hijo del junior. So weird. So
son of the junior.
Son of the junior.
Bizarre.
I hope that it goes like I hope that it goes to AAA. I hope they have him on the show, and then they can have him also. Just do the same thing they're doing with Dom, but have him as a AAA wrestler come to
right. And I feel like they keep doing it the other way, where it's like, okay, we have to do the WWE talent has to elevate the brand by them holding it and whatever. I think this is one case where the belts are not the most important belts in the world, and I think you can do that the other direction this time. Like, let AAA take the fucking belt for
you know what? In my head canon, I think the women's North American championship is more important than the men's for some reason. I don't know why. Maybe it was because
the women's everything on NXT is probably more important, even though you've got some good dudes in there now. Something about the women's division there still resonates 80% better than the men's division.
And I think Ethan does not need the title.
No, I think it's good for his character if he loses it, because he can be a whiny brat and still be great television. And if they do something with Chels too, like, send Chels down there, let her have fun with the Los Toxicas, like actually team up with them. It would be amazing. Well, I don't think she should face them. I think she should team up with them and beat up Lola or something. It'd be fun.
I think they have 2 shows coming up with AAA. They have Héroes Inmortales,
right,
and then they have a show here in Monterey. So they got these opportunities to showcase these people, but I don't know. I think that they're playing into that's a problem. Like, they're playing too much into, and I love him. I love what's his name, Grande Americano, Starbucks order. I think he's great, but the biggest attraction is that he's gonna be back here. So I don't know. I think the biggest attraction should be, Hijo del Wagner Jr.
Make one of these current AAA stars a star. Like
Canadian MJF is doing great. Oof, you're gonna get it.
Oh,
oh wow, we are actually like, never mind.
MJF might be Canadian himself at this point after marrying Alicia.
Oh, he might apply for it. So yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it can go both ways.
Yeah, that's right.
That's right. I said it. MJF can go both ways.
Nice.
All right, so pops and drops time. You got a pop, Byron? What's your pop of the week?
Here, I was talking
because I know your ego's out of control. Does that make you feel better? Make you feel like a big man?
No.
Check all Hernandez to put you in your place?
Not really. I was talking to our friend Bear during Dynamite Collision.
I was also speaking with Bear tonight.
Yeah, he mentioned he was talking to you. He said you fucking suck, so he started talking to me instead. It's weird. He cursed, actually. I don't like to curse.
That's
the
first time. Jesus.
No, but something he brought up on the 6-man match. He brought up like LFI would be great 6-man champions. He just feels like it needs to be. He brought up that it'd be better if the belts were closer to that part of the card, like the TNT title level of the card. And we started talking about it, and it made a lot of sense. Like, it makes sense. Death Riders had it as part of their taking over storyline, and then you needed a group of single sort of main eventers to get together or close to get the belts off. You needed big stars to get the belts off Death Riders, but you can't do anything storyline wise with the ops and those belts. Nothing really interesting. Like,
No, but can you do anything once they go on LFI? I'm like,
but if you go to LFI, then you have a lot more people that you can do stuff with. You could do a tag team and add a third person. Like you could add another person to Private Party or whatever. There's more stuff you could do, and you could have them wrestle more often. They don't have to always be in a main event of the TV show doing the thing. And I thought, the more we talked about it, the more it made sense. Those titles used to be a lot of fun, and they're not a lot of fun on
they're very up
ops.
and down. Sometimes they get booked, sometimes they don't. Like, just the title. I'm not even talking about who it's on.
Yeah.
Like, there's just long lulls in time, and the 6-man Ring of Honor titles too, which LFI has, right?
They just won the tags. Ring of
Oh,
Honor
okay.
tags.
So
Ring of
who
Honor
has the
tags.
okay? Well,
And
with
again, this is a problem too, because like when there's not meaningful storylines there, you forget who has the belts. It's the Danny Garcia TNT run. Like, people forgot he had the friggin' belt.
yeah.
But even the 6-mans, you don't even need it. It's supposed to be like the PWG matches of the show, and they're doing that. They're doing like 6-mans with other people who don't have the belts. Like.
So your
It's
pop of the week is that LFI got on TV.
It was sure.
Okay, I'm just I didn't know if there was more to it that you were trying to get to, but I
No,
didn't.
it was more of a hot take of
That's fine
the
too.
6-man titles need to move, and they represent a lot of the feeling of AEW. I think they're supposed to,
Right.
Well,
and they're not being used to do that.
to Comatose point, you have the Don Callis family, you have LFI, well, technically the Hurt
Syndicate. Oh, my pop. I have a
Okay,
pop.
go ahead.
But yeah, you have Hurt
ahead.
Syndicate. You have the best. You have the conglomeration.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, in theory, you should be able to have people, fight over the belts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. My pop would be, I think the Hurt Syndicate is doing great stuff, and Ricochet is doing great stuff with Gates of Agony. I think they have been a really great couple of talents for the company who just were not, they'd come in, make someone look good, and then TK would forget about them. And there was a very specific match where they were doing that shtick with Hurt Syndicate. They came in, they were big guys that Hurt Syndicate could throw around. MVP was on commentary, and you could actively hear during the match MVP getting impressed with these guys.
Well,
These guys are exactly what MVP is looking for.
The person I was watching the show with said very beginning, like, "Oh, we're getting more of this again." And then when that happened, it was, "Oh, I really like this. I'm glad they're still feuding." It's like,
Yeah,
it is part of what AEW is missing. Like, we should be having more of the, "Oh, we're getting this again," because these feuds should last longer and mean more.
and they're having matches in different circumstances, and they're trading meaningful wins and losses
Yeah.
to where it advances the storyline, and then it'll culminate hopefully somewhere. But they've taken Gates of Agony and they've given them a regular spot and making them legitimate. And
Those boys deserved it too. They put the
Yeah.
time in down to Ring of Honor. They totally deserved it.
they're doing everything expected of them in the spot. I enjoy every single segment, every single match that they do. Them and Hurt Syndicate.
I mean, it's Tony's turn.
All right. So last week, my drop was that I hated the coverage of The Rock's movie. They were saying that he was losing money. This was a flop. So my pop. What is it called? What is this thing?
Yeah, it's pops and
Yeah.
drops.
So my pop this week is The Rock's film. This
I saw it this week also.
because I went to see it, and Okay, so this is gonna go this is gonna go crazy. The movie's good.
Yes.
Okay, the movie's
Agree.
good. However, it's not great. It's a
Also
good
agree.
movie. Uh, The Rock is really good on it. The movie, the Rock is great, considering he comes from the Fast and the Furious, and consider that he comes from yes, help me
Correct.
here, and he comes from being the Scorpion King, right?
Correct.
He was like
Very
PS2
simple
graphic.
action movies that are very one-dimensional.
Yeah,
Tooth
so
Fairy.
Tooth Fairy. Well, Tooth Fairy actually needs a gravitas. I'm kidding. No, I think the jump that he does, and yes, there is a lot of bulky men crying. That is, like I said earlier, that's the go-to emotion for acting now for wrestlers. However, he does great on this. There were moments, and I know this is kind of hard to believe, that I forgot he was The Rock.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, so he got me there. And I'm gonna quote a friend of mine. Emily Blunt looks hot. And she's also great on this. She is. Yeah. Yes, I am rock hard for The Rock. Yes. No, it was great. Now the problem with the movie itself is that it is an A24 version of Draft Day, or what else? Those kids running in California for, or the Perfect Game, or all these movies that are about sports. It's just that it has incredible cinematography. They make you feel like you're in '94. The clothes are amazing. Like, oh my god, I want every single piece of Nautica sports.
Okay, I got to take issue with you here, and I said this to
Okay.
the people that I saw the
All
movie
right,
with.
go ahead.
Because we took Victor for his birthday, but
Okay.
I am here to tell you, in the mid '90s, there was no single female in the entire United States wearing high-waisted jeans. They went out with Jordache, and they did not come back until 2013.
Yeah, you're true.
There was no period in time where a woman was wearing high-waisted jeans. Complete
Yes.
farce.
I said,
It
oh
was
my
a
god, I
miss
think I
in
said
the
that. I have to
fashion.
ask my girlfriend. I think I did make the same comment. I think I did. I will have to get my girlfriend to.
Everything back
Yeah.
then was low-waisted, hip cut, or
Yes,
it
yes.
was
You can
it
see
was
the
it was
thong.
high-waisted, but it wasn't across the front. It was like just high hip cut, but it wasn't high-waisted.
Yeah, because
That style did not exist, people. That was
that's
nothing that did not
when the
happen in
thong
the
song
90s.
came out. Of
Correct.
course. Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Yes.
This was a
You know
period in
what? I
time where
think
we knew what underwear you were wearing with your pants. Your
Yeah,
pants
exactly,
didn't
yeah.
cover your belly. Your belly hung out over it. Going back to the muffin top comment, that is when the muffin top was invented, because people had the low-rise pants and the muffin finally came over top of them. Men and women. Nobody had high-rise anything, damn it. Correct.
I'm looking at I'm asking if I think I made that comment too.
Rebecca is absolutely correct. You had to show the tramp stamp, Byron.
Yes, that's
Byron's
what-
tramp
that-
stamp was on display
Oh my
every day.
God.
I've never had it. I still don't have a tramp stamp.
You have I Love Bon Jovi on your lower back. Stop.
I don't even like Bon Jovi.
I don't
Lies.
know.
You can't prove it.
I don't know about that. So that's my pop. I think the movie was great. I think I've been to the movies too many times this week. I've been 3 times to the movies.
I went twice. I saw Tron and I saw that as well.
I saw Tron, but they had a re-release of Amores Perros, which if you haven't seen, please go ahead and watch. It's in Spanish, but they have subtitles, so it's good. That movie changed Mexican cinema in the early 2000s. Is Alejandro González Iñárritu's opera prima. Yeah, it's amazing. Anyways, so yeah, the movie's great. I don't know if the movie is gonna get any kind of word, but The Rock should get at least nominated.
I love the gong. I'm using the gong all the time.
It's a lot more fun when it's done for other people. I see now.
My pop of the week is not that movie, but I do agree with Tony's sentiments exactly. And I go back to what I say about the making the money. Literally, that movie was made for me and like 4 of my friends. That movie was spoiled for me. I actually knew the results of every fight that happened in the movie. I knew the whole story. I'm that guy that watched Pride Wrestling in the late 90s. Anyway, My pop of the week, I kind of had two. But I'm going to give honorable mention to Mike Santana for finally winning that the big belt. I'm very proud of the guy. I think he just really has shown that he is the future of the business. He's the current of the business. He is what is happening now. He's the man. He deserves it. He deserves to lead that locker room. He deserves to lead it into the future. I hope he has a nice long run, that he is the face that they push into the next TV deal, because I feel like Joe Hendry is moving on. He's the guy. But my actual pop of the week is not what I expected it to be. It is Maxine Dupree. She had a match with Becky Lynch last week that did not deserve to be any good. I don't know what Becky's deal is. Becky is garbage half the time, but sometimes, every now and then, when I least expected it, and I just am totally done with Becky and want to write her off as even being a part of the wrestling industry, she does this. She did it with Trish Stratus in that cage match, and she did it here. Maxine listened. Becky led. Maxine listened. They did everything right. This is the best that Maxine has ever looked. And that poor girl got called up fast. She got thrown in the deep end. She has done her best to swim the entire time. She's put in the work. I'm here to tell you, I've talked to other people. She goes to the dungeon and trains with Natty and gets beat up by men. She goes to all of the extra performance center things. She shows up early on TV days and is the first one in the ring every single time. Maxine deserves your respect. Whether she's doing it well or not, you can criticize how well she does it, and hopefully she takes that criticism as constructive. But that girl is putting in the work right now, so she can guarantee that she has that kind of match with everyone she goes into the ring with. So I have to give Maxine Dupree my pop of the week, because the kid just put in the damn effort. Byron, you got a drop?
I already.
Oh wait, I got a gong this.
I said the drop and then I said the pop.
How do we take this away
I
from
forgot
him
what they
now?
both were.
How do we take this away from him?
Take
my
what?
drop is the gong. No, I'm kidding.
Justin is drunk with power now.
All right.
No, I don't have anything. I think I'm done with wrestling for the rest of the month.
Sweet. I will tell you my drop, and then we'll get the hell out of here. Kalani Jordan. Kalani Jordan was an absolute fail to me, and I'll tell you why. She's going over to TNA.
Sorry, Rebecca. They didn't. I'll explain next week. Go ahead, bro.
Oh no!
I'll tell you guys later.
In response to this, this is a good one. So this will be fun for next week. But anyway, so Kalani Jordan is my absolute drop of the week. Total fail. I was happy to see Ash by Elegance kind of relinquish the belt and kind of tell everyone backstage that she wanted Kalani to be the person. That was great. That was super cool. Kalani has done better in NXT. Here's my problem. She's now a champion. She's coming over to TNA. She doesn't have the producers and the guidance and the rule structure that NXT imposes on her. So she immediately gets to lay out a match with Indy, and Indy did a great job trying to carry Kalani quite a bit. But Kalani has the problem I was talking about earlier. Wrestling, we know it's not real, but the entire intended effect is for it to look like a fight. I don't mind the athletics. I don't mind the gymnastics. Saul Ruka has learned this lesson. There has to be a certain level of aggression. There has to be a certain level of selling the offense as well as taking the moves and the defense. You have to look like it's some kind of fight. Not that we're just going from one choreographed move to the next choreographed move. This is not Cirque du Soleil. The entire point is we're living vicariously through these people getting out their aggression in stories of good versus evil.
That's right.
First of all, I felt no good versus evil in this match with Indy Hartwell. Second of all, I felt no real aggression. I questioned 5 minutes into this match what I was even doing watching this thing. It was just an exhibition of people running around. If I wanted to do that, I'd watch professional cheerleading on ESPN because it is very good and exciting. but it's that because it's supposed to be that. This is not supposed to be that. This was an absolute fail to me. And I think it's because she didn't have the guidance and the guardrails of NXT and the WWE here. She cannot be trusted on her own to do this. They don't have Gail Kim over there right now. I don't know who is the agent of this match, but they deserve to have their hand slapped too. And if I see one more person throw a lariat where they stop at the chest and barely bump the person and they don't at least put their arm around on the side, they're just wrong. Can't do it.
You don't want to tear a
Can't stand
bicep
it.
muscle, though.
Oh my God. It was horrible. And I like Kalani Jordan, but this match was not it. She needs more guidance. Take the strap off of her now. She proved in one match that she does not deserve it. That is my drop. That is my hot take. F that match. That was terrible. I can't believe they made me watch that. Other than that, the TNA pay-per-view, by the way, was excellent. Loved all of it, except for that. That's it. That's all I had to say. Guys in the chat, first of all, thank you all for joining. I'm so happy that so many of you are Lucha Underground fans. It's part of what started this podcast, even though we don't spend a ton of time on it anymore. We love to give little tastes of it here and there. Hopefully we'll have some cool guests from back in the day come back through again soon, so you guys will get to relive a little more of the Lucha Underground magic, as we all will. And I'm very happy that you all have joined us. Please come back next week, when hopefully Tony Khan will not do a 3.5-hour show, because we're always going to come on after whatever he does on Wednesday.
Don't jinx it. Don't. Oh, God.
Son of a bitch. Out of the 4 shows since we've been back,
I know.
3 of them, he's gone long.
No.
Yes.
So over it.
Yes.
So until next time, ladies and gentlemen, stay calm and
Penis.
stay. You got to let me finish the sentence first.
I got